Hey, so if you clicked on this video, chances are you probably want to learn how to take better photos or find out what my favorite camera and editing apps are on the iPhone. Now, if you're on Android, that video is coming real soon, so stay tuned for that. But since I use both an iPhone and Android, there are similar apps on both platforms that I use, so let's talk about iPhone first. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about how you can take better pictures. My go-to app is just a regular iPhone camera app. There are third-party apps out there that can give you finer controls, which I'll talk about later in the video. But if you don't want to download a third-party app, you can, of course, still take some amazing pictures using the stock camera app. Now, a lot of people will tell you that you should always shoot RAW if you have the option so that you can get the best dynamic range, the best image quality, and have the most flexibility when editing your photos. But on the iPhone, shooting JPEGs honestly isn't that terrible as long as you know how to frame your subject, but also know how to properly expose for a photo. So as an example, here's a low light photo that I took when I was in New York City. And as you can see, this photo out of the camera in JPEG looks pretty good already. It's not super grainy and still has enough definition throughout the entire photo. Now I can upload this on Instagram as is, but you can also edit this JPEG to look like this. Not bad, right? Now here's a few more photos that I took on the iPhone 13 Pro in JPEG, and really all you need to do is remember to tap to focus and then move the exposure slider down a few notches so your highlights aren't super blown out, but also whatever it is that you're shooting is exposed properly. Now it's okay that your photo is a little bit underexposed. You can always fix that in post when you edit your photos. You can just bump up the shadows and exposure, and honestly, that's the beauty of editing. Now, I mentioned earlier that you can download a third-party camera app if you want true manual control when shooting with your iPhone. Now, my go-to third-party camera would be Halide. This will give you access and controls over your shutter speed, your ISO, white balance, and basically give you full manual control. It's a really neat app if you want all of these features, and if you want to try shooting RAW on your non-pro iPhone, Halide can shoot RAW photos too, which is really nice because the stock camera app won't let you shoot RAW if you're not using an iPhone 12 Pro or 13 Pro. Now, another app I would recommend you guys check out is NomoCam. If you're a point and shoot and upload kind of person, then this might be a good one to add to your list of apps to download. Basically, what NomoCam wants for its users is to ditch the post-production editing and just focus on taking pictures. Now, film photography is becoming really popular again, and NomoCam replicates a ton of vintage cameras and film stocks really well. I've talked to a few buddies of mine about this, and they've actually shot on film and are still shooting on film. Majority of them said it's about 90% accurate in terms of color reproduction and its characteristics. Now, it is worth noting that there is a pro subscription model that grants you access to all of the cameras that they have on the list. I personally love the 135 Ti camera and the Mini Lux camera for its distinct colors and characteristics. And what's cool about this app is that the fake camera interface isn't there just for show. These buttons on the 135 Ti, like the EV Plus and EV Minus buttons, are actual buttons you can press to underexpose or overexpose your photos, but you can also toggle the flash on and even switch to the front-facing camera, which is really neat. And like I said earlier, if you want to skip out on editing photos and want to give your photos a certain look from a film camera, you should definitely check out NomoCam. Alright, now before we move on to my favorite editing apps on the iPhone, I just want to quickly thank our channel sponsor Dbrand for sponsoring a portion of this video. Now, Dbrand has been supporting this channel for years, so if you've been watching my videos for a while, you guys already know that Dbrand makes the best and most precise skins for your smartphone, your iPhone, Pixel, MacBooks, and other tech products that you guys love. But if you want to customize your iPhone or even get a case for your iPhone, make sure to go to dbrand.com/HeyMarkL or click the first link in the description to check out their dope skins. And maybe you can even pick up their grip case so that your iPhone is protected in a stylish fashion. Again, if you're looking to make your iPhone look different than most people's iPhone, check out the first link down below or go to dbrand.com/HeyMarkL. Alright, so the first editing app I want you guys to check out is my absolute favorite app, and it's what I use every time that I need to edit a photo, and it's called RNI Films. I've used a ton of editing apps in the past, from Afterlight to Visco to Lightroom. Well, I mean, Lightroom I still use every now and then, but RNI Films just has all the filters that I would want for my photos and the style that I'm going for. Now this app is pretty straightforward. When you launch it, there's just one button to load the photo, and once you've selected it, you're taken immediately to where you can choose, I guess, the different film stocks or filters. Now there's 5 different categories that you can choose from: slide, instant, black and white, vintage, and negative. More and more recently, I've been picking filters from the slide category just because it fits the style that I'm going for, and they're pretty subtle filters. But with this app, you can also edit and correct your photos by tweaking the brightness, contrast, adjusting the shadows and highlights, as well as tweaking the white balance and tint, which is really nice. Now you can get access to the Pro version if you want, so you have access to all the filters, but also unlock the ability to add a date stamp, and my favorite feature, add as much chromatic aberration as you want in your photos to give it some character. Now the last editing app I suggest you guys take a look at is Lens Distortions. If you remember the photo I showed you guys of the clock tower in the beginning of this video, well, that edited photo is actually processed through R&I films first, then I used Lens Distortions to add another filter on top of that. Then I went ahead and added a few subtle elements to make the photo pop a little bit more. So what I did was added a moonlight effect on the upper right corner of the photo, and I also added flares near the tip of the tower to give it some character to make it look like the tower is glowing like a neon light. It's super subtle, but I think it makes for a really cool photo. Now just like R&I Films, you can subscribe to its Pro version to get access to all the effects, filters, and tools, but you can definitely go by without purchasing it and edit a few photos to see if you like it enough to upgrade and get access to the other filters and effects. Now of course, all of the apps and links will be in the description below if you guys do want to check it out, and everything that I talked about in this video. Anyways, that's gonna do it for me. I hope you all enjoy this video. I promise you guys the Android version is coming soon, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that video. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.